Gladring was a knight of whom it's told that man and maids found fairest to behold, and though a holy code forbade them such, many longed his weathered skin to touch with their frail fingertips, and trembled at the promise of his lips. But though such noble beauty can make heads swell, Gladring was modest, kind to man and beasts as well, and walked not strutting nose in air, but almost girl-like. He was shy and fair, yet in his grace there was a strength controlled. His shield and sword were hard and cold, and if some news of evil came, men shuddered at his eyes aflame. This was where his sacred duty lay, to meet with evil and to slay aught that preyed on people good and meek, and to help the troubled and the weak. But though he was much loved by one and all, upon no man did his friendship truly fall. One heart alone called music to his own, that of his mare, called by Pelone. Few words of her ever heard, save how she seemed to know his every word, how she'd ride through hell if Gladring bid. No other loved as Pelone could and did. It was the start of autumn, and the day was late, that Gladring and Pelone did meet their fate. 2 as 1 they rode for home with speed, to slake their thirst and eat, that was their need. Then from the dark they heard a woman moan. The air went cold, and then again a groan. Pelone started, neighed with fear. Then all at once they saw a form grow clear. "Gladring, I'm in need," the woman said. "Can I help?" said Gladring, through the dread, for she was strange and seemed to cast some spell. Her clothes were black, her eyes red coals from hell. Gladring's honour heeded not his fear. He let the figure from the night draw near. Pelone shuddered as the air grew colder, and would have bolted, but for Gladring at her shoulder. "I must ride swift across the moor. I am cold and starving, and I'm poor." And as she spoke, she seemed about to fall. Gladring reached out to help and touched her shawl, and at that touch his fears seemed unneeded. Gladring saw a maiden's smile, and not her eyes. He heard her words, sweet, but not Pelone's cries. A braver horse nowhere could be found, that stood as still as if she had been bound, while Gladring and his witch upon his back did light, and then, obedient still, rode off into the night. Pelone's hooves did hardly touch the ground, full speed they went, and yet without a sound. She never eased her gallop till the dawn, urged by Gladring, till the day was born. Then, with the first real gleam of light, a howl went from the witch of night. In an instant she was gone without a trace. Slowly reason returned to Gladring's face. As he woke, he returned to see his mare, shivering, foaming, lying with a fish-eyed stare. For though Pelone galloped further, faster rate, she'd never been made to carry a soul so full of hate. Gladring knew his joy and speed were done, and now he had a duty that he'd rather shun. And now his sword hissed through the air, his kindly gaze became a bitter stare. He trudged he knew not where, a mess of hate, and none who saw him dared to ask his fate, until at last he came to where the witch he'd found, and there Pelone, silent, stood her ground. For she'd been granted her request by the lords of where she'd been at rest. Her master had one more final deed, a horse of death could be his only steed. Once again their hearts together burned to seek the witch, towards the night they turned.